When I mentioned that you were going to be on, it's sometimes interesting how we go, yeah, but how were they as a pro? Like somehow it diminishes your college career because you weren't great as a pro, like Tim Tebow. But it doesn't, and it shouldn't, because I said, look at Laettner's numbers in the pros. I mean, you had seasons where you averaged 17 a game, but you were in a draft where you got Shaq and you got Zoe, and are you living up to that? And somehow that diminishes what you did at Duke because you weren't this Hall of Fame NBA type player. And I go, you're kind of missing. Johnny Manziel, no matter what he does, is still one of the great college quarterbacks of all time. But we do look to diminish what you did as a collegian if you're not great in the pros. It's weird that happens.
Well, one reason is because the general public and maybe the media don't realize how good the professional athletes are and how many beasts there are in the NFL and how many beasts there are in the NBA. If I didn't do as good in the NBA as people thought I could have done or should have done, then you have to chalk it up to being on a great team at Duke in a great system. I'll be the first to tell you that I'm a system player. I need a strong coach. I need a good program, a good system to have my most success. And it only happens in basketball when you're surrounded by other good players. Even LeBron James can't do it by himself on the Lakers.
Yeah.
I've seen Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen not be able to do it, the two of them on the Bulls. So you have to be surrounded by a good team. And then don't forget how good and how many beasts there are in the NBA. And yes, it's harder in the NBA. And if I didn't win in the NBA as much as I did in college, and if I didn't have the same numbers, it's because there's more Charles Oakley and David Robinson and Anthony Mason and all these monsters. and it does make it harder.
Can you teach the confidence you had? Game on the line, you wanted the ball. Like the bigger the game.
No, you can't teach it. You only get confidence by playing ping pong for 10 years and getting so good at it that you know you can beat anybody. You only get confidence on the basketball court from practicing and shooting 1,000 shots and making 800 of them and saying to yourself, man, I'm a good shooter. That's the only place confidence comes from.
But when you're playing Larry Johnson or Chris Webber in college, I mean, those are two really, really good players. But you never seemed to flinch when you had a big moment there. Like, it wasn't a coincidence that you were great in big games.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you saying that. It comes from practice, like I said, but it also comes from Coach K and some of your teammates. When you're a freshman at Duke and Quinn Snyder and Danny Ferry look at you and they say, we need you, that gives you a lot of confidence. When Coach K looks at you and says, we need you out there, you're one of our best players, that gives you a ton of confidence.
Did Danny Ferry haze you when you got there your freshman year?
Of course. My first day on Duke campus.
What happened?
My parents dropped me off. I kissed them goodbye. I said, go back to New York and leave me alone. And I walked straight into the Duke basketball office, and Danny Ferry was there getting his mail, and he didn't even say hello to me. He just said, you want to go play one-on-one? And of course I said, yeah, let's go play one-on-one. So we walked over to the locker room, we got changed. He said, here's your Duke practice gear. And then we went out and played one-on-one, and I had to let him be on offense first because he was the senior. And he drove left and spun right and put his elbow right in my mouth and said, welcome to ACC college basketball.
Nice. And then you eventually did that to other people.
And I've been crucified for it since.
Danny Ferry was the guy next door that you'd want your daughter to date. You were different.
Yep.
You're still vilified. But, people don't hate Christian Laettner.
No, it was I Hate One Person. That was the name of the movie. I Hate Christian Laettner.
Oh, it's only one
person.
Oh, no, well, it's not one. There's more than one that hate Christian Laettner, but
come on, Dan.
There was only one.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.